YCS Guadalajara, Mexico has come and gone, and, I'm not surprised to see this breakdown, as most of you won't be either. Thanks, Despia! Don't make 30% of you guys have not smashed the crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can get to 105,000. I'm still recovering from Columbus yesterday. But our breakdown for top 16, because I don't have the top 32 for you guys today. So, top 16 is as follows. We had 5 Despia decks. What do you want me to say at this point? After we've analyzed this to the moon at this point in time, I'm really hoping that we will get some sort of, hey, Konami won't touch that part. Maybe a brave hit? I don't know what to tell you at this point in time. The only real things that we can do are going to be consistency hits. I don't know. I'm at a loss for, how people want Konami to approach Despia, because post Ghost from the Past 2, the deck gets infinitely cheaper. And you gotta ask yourself, does limiting tragedy, does banning ad lithium? We're already seeing this massive turnover with reprints right around the corner. Are we going to take those steps? I don't know, but that's where we're sitting right now. Second most represented deck was Praying Kids. Well, that's not changed at all. All right. Every time we look at the data and things here, we continue to see, the same old thing here, ladies and gentlemen. And for those of you no, Praying Kids isn't the second best deck. I actually had somebody talking about the meta with people at the regional in Columbus, and a few people were like, no, Praying Kids is the best deck. I was like, that's really weird, because pure representation and top cut breakdowns dictate and change that entire answer. But to each their own at this point in time. But I do think that Praying Kids grinding against the format is actually, grinding against the format, what, you lose your normal summon your Praying Kid, Mirror Jade, Resolve, banish it, and you're like, oh yeah, well, did you open up Brave combo to up the Omni Negate? No. Well, that's just kind of how it goes. Also, shout out to Sword Soul here, man. 3 Sword Souls. I am happy as crap to see that Sword Soul is running it back right now, actually. Absolutely outstanding job to Sword Soul. Alright, I have seen, I think Sword Soul at this point in time has finally figured out the tools that it needs to be that anti-meta breaker deck. And it only took, Despia becoming a tier 1 deck for this deck to finally step up and get some sauce going for it. So kudos to Sword Soul players for finally figuring out the formulae that they needed for this. I'm glad to see that deck is back on top, proving that you don't need Protos to do its job here. Now we also had Tri Brigade. Now from what I was reading, I believe that this was a Tri Brigade branded list. Now for those of you that are like, is that the best variant? Well, it's got the most conversion rate as of right now in terms of top cut representation that I've seen. Regular Tri can still do some pretty cute things, but it's not amazing at the end of the day. The branded package in combination with, Yield, Verte, Anaconda just has more synergy at the end of the day, and it's really kind of just bringing it on home, which I think is good. Alright, now we also had Cyber's Eldritch in here. This deck and based still kind of like Brothers of Destruction in my opinion, but Cyber's Eldritch has not really left. It's one of the most reliable Scythe decks in the format. It still annoys players to no end. I think that's a good thing to see here. Alright, we also had one Dragon Link at top cut. Holy moly! Dragon Link got the chance to run it on back. You're not at Boral End yet, but you're also not at Albus being able to rip apart your whole field either. And then the roguiest rogue of rogue, Salamangreat, squeaked in to top 16. Holy moly. Of everything on this list, there always seems to be one sort of rogue deck that will creep through the cracks and perform well. We've seen infinite track machines. I mean, hell, we had, Raid Raptors out of last weekend's YCS, which proves to me that, you know what, there'll always be something roguish until we have, like, a complete and overturn down here. But also, you know, top 16 isn't, it's not like a 50% conversion rate of Despia either. You know, I'll say this later on in the video, it's almost like players are kind of starting to learn how to handle this. Now, what's top 8 looking like? Your top 8 conversion is kind of rough, actually, because you're going from 5 Despia decks down to a lonely 4. Now, that's a big dip off here, in my personal opinion. The fact that you only lost 1, all right, which means those same 4 players carried it on in to top 4. We also had 2 Praying Kids, which means that half of your field of Praying Kids players ended up losing out in the top 8 or top 16. That's a little bit rough. Cyber's Eldritch managed to escape in, though. I actually think that that's pretty impressive. Cyber's Eldritch, it's like that deck, it's so resilient at this point in time. That's like, oh, what are you going to do? Nothing? All right, and then we also had 1 Sword Soul squeak into the top 8 as well. Now, overall, looking at like what you lost from this, the Salamangreat did not make it into top 8, which kind of sucks, but it's okay. Dragon Link fell off. I mean, Dragon Link, I don't know, man. I still think that deck has just lost so much power at this point in time that it's pretty crazy. Also, you know, no Sky Striker conversion for this. I know everybody's like, oh my god, Robbie, you, like, how dare you keep mentioning Strikers like the 5th best deck. Look, man, I look at a lot of regional results versus like YCS's as well. And if I'm seeing 6, 7, 8 events where you're seeing Striker turning over, you know, in these 300, 400 man events, you know, it's worth mentioning in terms of conversion. Outside of seeing just Salamangreat, the Tri-Brigade list also fell off, which is also kind of disappointing. But the thing is, like, the Tri-Brigade branded deck is just infinitely worse than what you can kind of put up in terms of whatever else you're trying to do with it. Like, pure Despia just feels a lot better in terms of playability versus, you know, playing the Tri-Brigade build. If you're playing the Tri-Brigade build, obviously, like, you're a fan of Tri-Brigade and you enjoy, like, the interactions, things that the deck can do. And at the end of the day, it's just that. And then our grand finals, I believe, were, yes, it was Despia versus what? Cyber's Eldritch made it all the way to the finals. That's a nice little run back for the event, ladies and gentlemen. That deck really carried on back. Can we finally see some hits to you know, the Cyber's package? Can we get Verti Anaconda out of here at this point in time? But you know what? Seeing Despia carry it on home here, not too bad. Let's go dig into the only deck list that I have right now, shall we? As I'm filming this, there's only one deck list that I have seen pop into the woodwork here, and it is this top 32 list for the Praying Kids deck. Now, the reason why I'm even choosing to include this here is you're going to see... Okay, so this is actually something that's been coming up a lot more now. Anti-Spell is like a tech choice I've seen Sword Soul kind of moving on into the format here and wanting to pick up as an option to stop Despia. All right, these anti-fun Despia cards are starting to come up. I also see that I think a few people have started reapproaching and looking at Lancia right now, which I don't think that's like the super way to go. But also like D-Berry. Like, look at these. These are your 2 best solid options for stopping Despia at this point in time. So we have triple Ash Blossom, 1 Celestial, 1 Dasher, 1 Effect Veiler. I'm also noticing poor Effect Veiler is just like a 1-of right now. We have double Ghost Bell, 2 Ghost Ogres, 2 Nibiros, 2 Dropsies, 2 Fansies with the 2 Lampsies with the 1 Roxy's. If you've noticed at this point in time, we've pretty much just shaved down the engine. I actually had an opponent this weekend that got punished for only playing what was it? I think 1 Fansies in the list, trying to like shave down numbers and get cheesy. We have 1 Griffin Rider, triple Cobbie's a Water Enchantress, 1 Draco back with 1 Faithful Adventure, 1 Foolish Burial, triple Droplet for board breaking, 2 Fusion Destiny with the 1 Pandemonium, triple Place, 1 Pranks, triple Right with triple Imperm. Down here in the X deck, we have 1 Verte, 1 Rip Roar and Roaster, 1 Meow Meow Meow, 1 Dupe, 2 Dupe, 3 Dupe, 1 Bow Wow Bork, 1 Link Spider with 1 Unicorn, 1 Dahark with 1 Axis, 1 Weather Washer, 1 Rocket Ride, 1 Battle Butler, and 1 DPE. And then we have triple Lanzia, 2 copies of Lightning Storm, 2 Shared Ride, 2 Anti-Spell, 2 Dimensional Bear, triple evenly matched, and 1 copy of Red Reboot here, wrapping up this chunk of info for everybody. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment about what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.